Have you ever suspected that reality is far more malleable than you were taught? For centuries, we have been conditioned to view our brains merely as passive receivers, complex, organic hard drives designed only to record and react to the objective, external world. This foundational misconception is the single greatest inhibitor to unlocking true abundance, and it is the reason why millions of people who try visualization techniques feel stuck, perpetually waiting for the universe to grant them permission to succeed. Today we peel back the layers of this societal illusion to reveal the profound, terrifyingly potent truth. Your brain is not receiving reality, it is generating it, moment by electrical moment. The fundamental shift in understanding required for real manifestation is moving from the idea of the brain as a mirror reflecting the world to the brain as a high-powered projector casting your internal landscape onto the physical screen of your life. Every thought you habitually entertain, every deep-seated expectation you hold, and every emotion you choose to inhabit is interpreted by your neural networks not as abstract data, but as concrete instructions for what reality should look and feel like next. When your inner world aligns with the frequency of abundance, the universe, which is merely the feedback loop to your internal system, begins to reorganize itself to match that signal. This video is not about passive wishing, it is a deep dive into the practical neuroscience of deliberate creation. We are going to explore why this foundational power is intentionally obscured by systems that rely on your compliance, and precisely how you can hijack your own neural architecture to consciously design the experiences, relationships, and wealth that resonate with your highest vibrational blueprint. Understanding this process moves you from being a hopeful participant in life to being the supreme, sovereign architect of your destiny. Before we delve into the mechanics of this hidden power, take a moment to confirm you are serious about transforming your understanding of reality. Tell us your city in the comments below, letting us know where you are embarking on this journey of consciousness expansion. And make sure you watch until the very end, because the final steps we provide are the difference between knowing the theory and living the truth of manifestation. The most critical realization on the path to conscious creation is understanding that you do not experience the world directly. You experience a highly edited, filtered, and predictive model of the world created entirely inside your skull. Sensory data, light waves, sound vibrations, pressure changes are merely raw inputs. Your brain, specifically the reticular activating system, RAS, and deep cortical structures, constantly filters this infinite stream of information, discarding 99.9% of the data it deems irrelevant to your current emotional state or previously accepted beliefs, ensuring that the only information reaching your conscious mind is that which validates your existing paradigm. This filtering mechanism is the ultimate gatekeeper of your reality, proving that the world you perceive is fundamentally a customized projection based on what you expect to see. This process of prediction means your neural hardware is designed to create shortcuts based on past experience to save energy. If you habitually believe that opportunities are scarce or that money is hard to earn, your brain literally constructs a predictive model where signals of scarcity are highlighted and genuine opportunities for abundance are seamlessly filtered out, rendered invisible because they do not match the expected pattern. When you walk into a room, your brain has already decided what threats and rewards exist based on your history, and it then presents that pre-digested reality to you. You are not reacting to the world. The world is reacting to the model you already constructed for it, a profound realization that entirely recontextualizes the concept of free will and personal responsibility in manifestation. The manifestation process, therefore, is not about sending energy out to the universe and waiting for a gift. It is about adjusting the internal operating system, the frequency regulator, so that the brain's filtering mechanisms begin to prioritize and locate signals corresponding to the desired reality. If you want to manifest a successful business, your neural system must be trained to recognize business opportunities in ordinary conversations, to spot market trends in mundane data, and to align your behavioral output with the self-image of a successful entrepreneur. When the internal frequency shifts to "success is my natural state," The RAS drops the scarcity filter and starts showing you the world through the lens of possibility, instantaneously bringing the desired reality into conscious focus. To ensure you never miss these critical insights into mastering your internal reality, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications now. We continuously release content designed to equip you with the practical tools necessary to dismantle the limitations programmed into you and step into the abundance that is your birthright. The deep subconscious beliefs, the core programming established during childhood or moments of intense emotional trauma, serve as the foundational architecture upon which your predicted reality is built. These foundational beliefs act like gravitational centers, powerfully bending and shaping the interpretation of all incoming sensory data, meaning that manifestation efforts based purely on superficial thoughts or affirmations will fail if they conflict with the established, deeply rooted neural pathways of self-worth or lack. True manifestation requires excavating and reprogramming these deep-seated instructions, convincing the brain's internal prediction mechanisms that the new, abundant reality is not a hopeful fantasy, but the imminent and logical next step in your life. Consider the incredible density of experience. You are constantly bombarded by potential realities. The brain solves this problem by using attention and expectation as twin levers to collapse infinite potentiality into a single cohesive experience. If you expect conflict in a relationship, your brain heightens sensitivity to tiny verbal cues, interpreting ambiguity as aggression, thus constructing and solidifying a reality of conflict. Conversely, if you carry a profound felt expectation of love and respect, those same cues are interpreted as stress or humor, leading the brain to construct a reality that affirms your inner state. Your expectation is the neurological fuel that powers the reality-generating engine, constantly proving itself right. The brain's ability to construct reality is the biological mechanism underlying the spiritual law of attraction. It's not a magical force external to you. It is a meticulously efficient internal process of aligning perception with expectation. When you achieve emotional coherence, when your feeling state, your belief system, and your conscious focus are all aimed at the target frequency, the signal broadcast is so clear that the internal filters instantly reorganize. The universe, being the ultimate echo chamber, merely returns the physical manifestations of the strongest, most coherent signal being generated from your neural networks, presenting opportunities, synchronicities, and people that perfectly match your established interior world. This complex interplay demonstrates that procrastination and self-sabotage are not moral failings, but neurological habits. The brain prefers familiarity, even if that familiarity is painful. Therefore, the old reality, the reality of struggle and scarcity, is energetically the path of least resistance. Conscious manifestation is the courageous act of choosing a new path, requiring persistent, high-energy focus to create a new set of preferred neural shortcuts. Every intentional focus on the desired outcome begins to pave a new highway, directing the flow of the reality-generating system away from the old, painful landscape and toward the future you intend to inhabit. To truly tap into this hidden power, one must move beyond the intellectual acknowledgement of brain function and integrate the understanding on a visceral, emotional level. You must embody the truth that you are the sole creator of your lived experience. This realization demands a radical level of self-mastery, requiring constant vigilance over the quality of your thoughts and feelings, recognizing them not as fleeting mental states, but as energetic construction, materials actively building the framework of your external world. This continuous, focused internal alignment is the work of real manifestation. The profound reality-shaping power of the brain is rarely explained within mainstream culture, education systems, or popular media because its widespread understanding threatens the fundamental structures of societal control and compliance. Systems, economic, governmental, and educational, are built on the premise that reality is fixed, objective, and external, and that the individual must perpetually strive to conform to its non-negotiable rules. If the masses understood that subjective expectation dictates objective reality, the entire leverage of marketing, fear-based news cycles, and manufactured scarcity would instantly collapse, as individuals would recognize their power to generate abundance internally, regardless of external metrics. Education, structured during the Industrial Revolution, was designed to create efficient, obedient cogs in a larger machine, prioritizing rote memorization and conformity over creative self-sovereignty. The curriculum successfully teaches mechanics, history, and mathematics, but fundamentally omits the most critical lesson: how the student's own consciousness constructs the reality in which those subjects operate. By framing the brain as a passive storage device rather than an active quantum antenna, the system effectively discourages independent thought about the nature of existence, ensuring that individuals remain dependent on external sources, experts, governments, employers, to define and validate their reality. Furthermore, explaining the brain's reality-generating power carries an immense psychological burden of responsibility that many people unconsciously resist. If you are the architect of your reality, you must accept full accountability for every outcome, good and bad. It eliminates the comfort of blame, blaming bad luck, blaming the economy, or blaming the universe. Institutions benefit when people feel disempowered and externalize control. A populace that recognizes its absolute creative authority is inherently ungovernable by traditional means. It's easier for society to label successful manifestation as luck or privilege than to admit that those individuals simply activated their internal systems more coherently. The scientific community, constrained by the materialist paradigm, also contributes to the concealment of this power. While neuroscience acknowledges neuroplasticity, the full implications, that intent and emotion physically reshape the world, remain largely relegated to the fringe, because subjective experience is notoriously difficult to measure and replicate in sterile laboratory settings. The mechanism of manifesting requires bridging the gap between quantum physics, where observation dictates outcome, and classical biology, a synthesis that established, skeptical academia is slow to accept, fearing the loss of objectivity and the encroachment of spirituality into observable, hard science. The pervasive cultural narrative reinforces the misconception of scarcity. From childhood stories to economic models, we are taught that resources are limited, competition is necessary, and not everyone can win. This constant exposure generates powerful, deeply embedded neural pathways of lack. The brain, seeking to confirm this foundational programming, filters reality to constantly prove that scarcity is the truth, trapping millions in cyclical patterns of limitation. Releasing this trap requires not just new knowledge, but actively overriding decades of media consumption designed to keep the frequency of the collective consciousness low and compliant. Spiritual and metaphysical communities, while often discussing the power of consciousness, have sometimes complicated the process by emphasizing vague, external, universal laws divorced from neurological action. They suggest passive waiting or wishing, failing to connect the energetic process directly back to the physical hardware of the brain, the true power generator. This disconnect leads people to believe manifestation is a mysterious, unpredictable gift rather than a reliable biological process dependent on disciplined focus and emotional alignment. The fear of radical change also plays a role in suppressing this knowledge. When individuals begin to truly manifest, their lives often shift dramatically. Relationships change, careers pivot, and old social circles fade. The ego, which prioritizes safety and continuity, will often sabotage genuine attempts at manifestation to maintain the status quo, even if the status quo is unhappy. The hidden power is therefore often obscured internally by resistance to true transformation, reinforcing the external message that it is too complex or dangerous to pursue. This systemic and personal resistance ensures that the majority continues to operate from a low-frequency, reactive state, perpetuating the belief that they are subject to external forces. To overcome this, you must consciously recognize the political and cultural incentives driving the concealment of this power, treating your brain not as a victim of circumstances, but as a highly sophisticated self-programming instrument capable of commanding its own reality. Ultimately, the power is rarely explained because If everyone knew how to consciously manifest abundance through precise neurological and emotional control, the existing power structures that rely on external validation, dependency, and fear would crumble. The secret is kept not by a cabal, but by the inertia of a collective consciousness programmed for struggle, which maintains the status quo by refusing to acknowledge its own infinite creative potential. The mechanism by which your brain transforms intent into manifestation lies in the observable physical process of neuroplasticity, the brain's astonishing ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. When you direct your attention consistently toward a specific thought, expectation, or desired outcome, you are literally providing the electrical current necessary to strengthen the corresponding neural circuit, a principle summarized as neurons that fire together, wire together. This is not metaphorical, it is the physical construction of your future reality inside your own head. Attention acts as the spotlight of consciousness, but expectation acts as the high-voltage electricity that fuses those connections into long-term structural pathways. If you pay attention to the possibility of a new business venture, the idea, but maintain a deep-seated expectation of failure, the feeling, the powerful emotional energy of that negative expectation reinforces the neural pathway of scarcity, causing the failure circuit to override the positive thought circuit. Real manifestation demands that attention and expectation be perfectly aligned, using the high emotional frequency of felt belief to weld the new, abundant pathways into place. These strengthened circuits dictate perception through a process called synaptic pruning. Unused or irrelevant pathways are gradually weakened and eliminated, while highly utilized pathways, those consistently reinforced by attention and expectation, become the default highways for processing reality. If your manifestation is focused on receiving an abundance of clients, the constant emotional expectation that clients are seeking me out prunes away the neural noise of doubt and scarcity, making the recognition of client opportunities automatic and instantaneous. Your behavior and decision-making flow naturally from these reinforced circuits, creating automatic alignment with the desired outcome. Consider for a moment what pathways you are currently reinforcing in your own life. Are you spending more energy analyzing past failures or meticulously detailing and feeling the reality of future success? The quality of your present focus determines the structural integrity of your manifested future. Share in the comments below. What single emotional state are you committed to reinforcing in your brain today to solidify your path to abundance? The emotional element is the chemical catalyst in this neurological transformation. Emotions like gratitude, joy, and profound certainty release neuropeptides and hormones that bathe the neural system, solidifying the connections associated with those positive states. This is why visualization alone often fails. If the image of success is not accompanied by the genuine felt chemistry of success, the certainty and relief of having already achieved it, the neural pathways remain weak and temporary. The brain interprets high emotional intensity as high biological priority, accelerating the integration of the belief system into the structural foundation of your reality generator. The consistent, deliberate repetition of the desired future state, felt as present reality, creates an internal model that the brain then attempts to match in the external world. This internal model becomes the brain's new operational default. When presented with a novel challenge or opportunity, the brain doesn't search for solutions based on past limitations. It defaults to the established, reinforced pathway of the desired outcome, automatically generating problem-solving strategies and behaviors consistent with the identity you are manifesting. This process is fundamentally about shifting your biological identity. You are not trying to attract external things. You are training your brain to generate the biology and identity of the person who already possesses those things. This person operates from a different level of neural coherence, confidence, and resourcefulness. The abundance you seek is the natural reflection of having successfully constructed the neural architecture of an abundant individual. When the neural pathway of expectation is weak, the manifestation signal is intermittent and fuzzy, leading to inconsistent results and frustration. True manifestation requires turning the internal frequency dial until the signal is crystal clear, achieving a state where the desired reality feels utterly inevitable. This requires patience, discipline, and the understanding that every single intentional thought and feeling is a brick laid in the foundation of your new neural pathway, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of success. By mastering attention and expectation, you become the conscious sculptor of your own neural landscape, transitioning from a reactor to external events to the master engineer of your internal and external world. This foundational understanding bridges the spiritual concept of energetic alignment with the hard science of neuroplasticity, proving that manifestation is not a mystical process, but a predictable, biologically driven outcome of focused consciousness. Many people approach manifestation through surface-level visualization, creating a mental picture or looking at a vision board, and then become disillusioned when those images fail to materialize. The crucial difference between passive visualization and real manifestation lies in the integration of three elements often ignored: deep emotional engagement, unshakable belief, and congruent behavioral alignment. Visualization is a sketch. Real manifestation is the blueprint, the felt experience, and the construction crew all working in unison. Passive visualization fails because the brain recognizes it as a simulated low-stakes fantasy, triggering no significant biological or neurological response. If you visualize millions of dollars, but your immediate visceral feeling is anxiety or disbelief, this is too good to be true. The powerful negative emotional current instantly neutralizes the weak positive image. The brain prioritizes the stronger emotional signal, reinforcing the pathway of scarcity and ensuring the fantasy remains safely locked in the realm of the impossible, protecting you from the perceived threat of a reality shift. Real manifestation requires generating an emotional coherence so intense that the brain interprets the desired future reality as an undeniable present fact. This means actively inhabiting the physiological state of already having achieved the goal. You must feel the relief, the joy, the certainty, and the profound peace of the realized abundance right now. This intense emotional state releases the necessary neurochemistry, dopamine, oxytocin, that marks the experience as biologically real, forcing the neural system to align perception and behavior with this new, established internal truth. The second critical component is the genuine, deeply felt belief, the unwavering certainty that your reality is shifting. This belief system eliminates internal conflict. If you believe fundamentally that you are worthy of abundance, the brain stops generating conflicting neural signals that paralyze action. Belief is the foundation that allows emotional coherence to be maintained, acting as the consistent frequency regulator that broadcasts a clear, unwavering signal to the universe, ensuring that the feedback loop of synchronicity can operate without distortion. Without congruent behavioral alignment, even the deepest visualization and belief will struggle to manifest. If you are manifesting financial freedom but continue to spend money from a perspective of scarcity, avoiding bold, expansive decisions, the brain receives mixed signals. The internal conflict, visualizing abundance but acting poor, shuts down the manifestation engine. Real manifestation requires taking inspired action, which is not forced effort, but the natural, confident output of the person you have neurologically become. These actions, guided by your new neural pathways, are the bridges that carry the internal reality into external form. Furthermore, real manifestation requires engaging all senses in the visualization, integrating the mental image with bodily sensation. You must not just see the success, you must feel the texture of the new environment, hear the celebratory sounds, and embody the posture of the person who achieved it. This multisensory immersion accelerates the neurological shift, transforming the mental image from an abstract concept into a fully encoded, prioritized memory of the future, compelling the brain to begin generating reality to match this powerful internal instruction set. This distinction highlights why simple affirmations are often ineffective. An affirmation is merely a linguistic structure. If it is repeated without the authentic, deep emotional charge and accompanying belief, it is empty noise to the brain. To manifest, the affirmation must become an internal truth, generating an immediate felt response that says, "Yes, this is my current reality." The work is therefore primarily internal, managing the quality of emotional and cognitive energy you dedicate to the desired outcome. The failure to manifest is often the failure to sustain a state of certainty long enough for the neural pathways to solidify and for congruent behavior to become automatic. Manifestation is not a sprint. It is the disciplined commitment to living from the desired outcome rather than merely wishing for it. It is the continuous process of aligning thought, feeling, and action so coherently that the universe has no choice but to reflect the dominant frequency you are projecting. This comprehensive approach, integrating visualization with emotional truth, core belief, and aligned behavior, is what differentiates hopeful daydreaming from the precise, powerful neurological process of conscious, real manifestation. The power of the manifesting brain is not confined to the skull. It subtly but powerfully signals the body and the immediate environment, influencing opportunities, perceptions, and interpersonal dynamics in ways science is only beginning to fully map. This external signaling occurs primarily through the autonomic nervous system, posture, micro-expressions, and vocal tone, all of which act as silent broadcasters of your internal energetic frequency and expectation. Your internal state of readiness, confidence, or scarcity is constantly being projected outward, creating a resonance field that draws specific experiences toward you. When you hold a deep, unwavering expectation of abundance and success, a high-frequency internal state, your brain cues the vagus nerve and the endocrine system to maintain a state of calm, centered power. This results in subtle but critical physical manifestations: an open posture, direct and steady eye contact, a lower, more resonant voice, and relaxed facial muscles. This physiological broadcasting signals competence and safety to others, making you magnetic and trustworthy. People unconsciously want to invest in, collaborate with, and open doors for someone radiating this energy of successful certainty, precisely because the brain signals coherence. Conversely, if you are stuck in a pathway of scarcity and fear, a low-frequency state, your brain keeps the fight-or-flight mechanisms primed. This manifests as slouched shoulders, shallow breathing, nervous fidgeting, high-pitched or hesitant speech, and micro-expressions of anxiety or self-doubt. This non-verbal broadcast communicates instability and low self-worth. Even if you verbally express great ambition, the body's subconscious signaling overrides the words, causing potential opportunities and high-value individuals to instinctively withdraw, reinforcing the scarcity loop that originated in your mind. This subtle energetic output is the mechanism through which the universe returns signs and synchronicities. It's not that the universe is randomly sending signals. It's that your conscious high-frequency internal state has calibrated your perception, RAS, to spot patterns, and simultaneously calibrated your body to attract opportunities that match that frequency. You are walking into rooms, exuding the frequency of success, causing others to present opportunities that they might have withheld from someone radiating uncertainty. This is the practical, biological explanation for why like attracts like. If you are following this, drop the keyword frequency in the comments to acknowledge the power of energetic alignment and show us you're tracking the deep connection between mind and matter. The physical decisions you make are also driven by these internal brain states. If your neural pathways are dominated by confidence, you are biologically primed to take calculated risks, invest boldly, and initiate high-value conversations. Your brain signals the body to move toward challenge rather than away from it. This confident action, born from internal certainty, is what changes the trajectory of your life, proving that the universe rewards not the wishing, but the embodiment of the desired state. This signaling also influences your environment by creating a self-reinforcing echo chamber. When you enter a space with an energy of calm authority, the people in that space tend to mirror it, responding to you. with respect and attentiveness. Your brain state literally changes the social atmosphere. If you walk in expecting rejection, your body language invites it, and the environment responds accordingly, confirming your internal low-frequency expectation, thereby solidifying the neural pathway of self-doubt. Therefore, true manifestation mastery involves cultivating emotional coherence not just for personal feeling, but to use the body as a powerful broadcast tower. By intentionally regulating your nervous system and aligning your posture and tone with the desired identity, the confident, abundant individual, you compel the external environment, including other people, to recognize and validate that identity. You become a magnetic focal point for resources and synchronicity. This deep connection illustrates that manifestation is a whole-body process where the brain dictates the internal frequency and the body translates that frequency into a measurable, influential signal that shapes external reality. The ability to manage this signal is paramount, requiring constant self-awareness to ensure that your non-verbal cues align precisely with the abundant reality you are striving to create. Activating the brain's hidden power consciously requires moving from passive reaction to deliberate, precise self-engineering. This activation process centers on 3 core practical steps: establishing intentional focus, achieving emotional coherence between the heart and brain, and ruthlessly implementing pattern interruption to dismantle old scarcity loops. This shifts control from the subconscious programming of the past to the intentional direction of the future. The first step, intentional focus, utilizes the reticular activating system, RAS, deliberately. Instead of allowing external stimuli, the news, social media, or fear-based conversations, to dictate what your RAS prioritizes, you must flood it with specific, detailed signals of your desired reality. This means dedicating specific time slots every day to mentally rehearse the feeling of success, meticulously detailing the environment, the emotions, and the behavioral output of your future self. This constant, high-definition internal broadcasting forces the RAS to prioritize related signals in the external world, effectively turning off the filter for scarcity and turning on the filter for abundance. The second, and perhaps most potent step, is achieving emotional coherence. Research demonstrates that the heart broadcasts a far stronger electromagnetic field than the brain. When the heart's rhythm is coherent, smooth, predictable patterns associated with feelings like gratitude and appreciation, it sends a powerful, harmonizing signal to the brain, stabilizing the neural networks. Intentional gratitude for the things you already have and profound appreciation for the future you are manifesting aligns the heart and brain into a state of powerful unified resonance. This high-frequency coherence acts as a supercharger, multiplying the manifesting power of your intentional focus. If you find this realization about intentional focus and emotional coherence impactful and useful, please take a moment to hit the like button now. Your engagement helps us ensure this life-changing knowledge reaches more people who are ready to take control of their reality. Pattern interruption is the essential process of stopping old painful neural pathways from firing when triggered. Whenever a limiting belief surfaces, such as "I'm not good enough" or "money is hard to keep," you must immediately interrupt the pattern. This is not about arguing with the thought, it is about physically and mentally changing the channel. Techniques like forceful deep breathing, changing physical location, or instantly substituting a pre-prepared empowering mantra, e.g., "I am infinitely capable," disrupt the automatic firing sequence, preventing the scarcity circuit from reinforcing itself. Consistent interruption leads to synaptic pruning, weakening the old pathways until they eventually fade from lack of use. The conscious activation process also involves rigorous external discipline. You must protect your neural environment from low-frequency input. This means curating your media consumption, choosing empowering relationships, and actively moving away from conversations and environments that reinforce doubt or limitation. Your environment is a constant source of programming. Treating it as such is non-negotiable for maintaining the high-frequency state necessary for powerful manifestation. Furthermore, integrating as-if embodiment into your daily routine drastically accelerates activation. Instead of waiting for the external world to change, you consciously choose to embody the behavior and decision-making patterns of the already successful person. This means operating from a position of confidence and resource management consistent with abundance, thereby signaling to your brain that the new reality is already here. This congruence between internal state and external action is what solidifies the new neural pathways. The key to sustaining this conscious activation is recognizing that manifesting is an ongoing, continuous practice of energetic maintenance, not a one-time effort. It is the commitment to observing your internal landscape without judgment, consistently correcting the frequency dial toward the desired reality whenever you notice misalignment. This self-mastery ensures that the reality-generating system remains tuned to the highest frequency of your potential. By utilizing intentional focus, achieving emotional coherence, and implementing aggressive pattern interruption, you consciously seize the reins of your own destiny, transforming your brain from a reactive product of the past into the masterful sovereign projector of your abundant future. We have dismantled the myth that your brain is merely a recording device. The deep, hidden power they never explain to you is that your brain is the central, non-negotiable engine of reality generation. It filters, predicts, and constructs every moment of your lived experience based on the neural pathways you intentionally or unintentionally reinforce through attention and expectation. True manifestation is the disciplined biological process of achieving emotional and neurological coherence, aligning your internal frequency so powerfully that the external world must physically conform to the signal you are projecting. The failure of passive wishing lies in the lack of this coherence, the disconnection between visualization and the felt, embodied certainty of already possessing the desired outcome. By understanding how attention strengthens neural pathways, how emotion fuels the belief system, and how the body broadcasts your frequency, you move beyond hoping for signs from the universe and begin generating the signs yourself, compelling synchronicity through precise internal tuning. You now possess the map to your own creative authority. The journey ahead requires courage, the courage to challenge years of conditioning, the courage to take full responsibility for your internal state, and the courage to embody the abundant identity before the external evidence has arrived. Stop waiting for the universe to give you permission. Start using the most powerful tool you possess, your own reality-generating brain, to consciously design the life you know you were meant to live. Now consider these final reflection questions. Where in your life are you still unconsciously reinforcing a pathway of scarcity, and what specific pattern interruption will you commit to implementing this week? Take the knowledge gained here and put it into immediate action. If this video resonated with your spirit and empowered your understanding of reality, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep explorations into the mechanics of consciousness and abundance. Your transformation begins now.